Hi there! I welcome all the seekers, new and returning subscribers. I am Nas and I'm delivering raw intuitive readings on this channel. I believe that we all have answers within ourselves, and all we need sometimes is the right question to guide us on our quest. So this is why I'm here. And in this reading, we are going to go a little high level, a little deeper maybe, and look at the spiritual transformation that you are undertaking right now and how it manifests in your real life, in your current situation, and how you can tap into more energies to make more progress and reach a higher potential, to make a leap to the next level. So my intent is always to help and empower you to grow and be a better version of yourself. So please take all what resonates and take it lightly, because this is just a general reading. And please leave some words of encouragement for your fellow seekers in the comment section, because the community can be sometimes a great support and can make us all stronger. I will leave the contact information down below, as well as the info of how you can book a personal tarot session with me. And now I would like us all to center and take 3 deep breaths. Please, if you need to center a little bit more, stop the video and you can see 4 piles in front of you. Choose the pile that calls you the most. Although there might be a couple of piles that are calling you, it's fine. You can choose the messages from both of them and then just combine your personal reading out of those messages. And I see you at your timestamp. Hi everybody, welcome to your reading, everyone who chose pile number 1. Now we are going to discuss what are the blockages that have been holding you back and how to release them. Let's jump straight into it. The card that signifies you right now is the 5 of Wands in reverse. For some of you, it might mean that you've been battling something internally, that you've been competing with yourself and you've been your own rival. You could have been beating yourself up for certain things. And this is definitely a stage in your spiritual growth, spiritual development, where you do learn to stand up for yourself and where you do learn to stand up for what you believe in, for what you like, and fighting against what you dislike. For others, the message is a little bit different, but it's also related to the fiery energy of the 5 of Wands. And you could have been exiting the conflict situation. We'll have a look at the past card right now, so it will give us a little bit more dimension to the situation. But it could have been that you've been suppressing your anger, your desire to fight, or you could have found yourself unable to fight with other people. Regardless of the situation, please know that you are your own competition. You are the only competition that you should be considering. This is the first thing. And the second thing is that this fight that you are looking at right now, or you've been looking at for a while, you can be feeling the effects of it, this fighty energy where you have to stand your ground. This is the energy of a fight that is not like life or death fight. You are just showing your power. It's a competitive fight where you can show what you are capable of. In this case, this is very different from the 7 of Wands, where it's more like a battle kind of a fight where you're being attacked by other people. Here, there is no blood. They are fighting as a play. Each one of them has their own wand and they're fighting because it's fun. Take it as resonates, but do remember that sometimes we do achieve more and we do achieve better when we are in some kind of competitive situations where we do have the opportunity to compare our skills and compare our abilities with other people, just to see what resonates with the world more. What's important right now is that you would like to receive your fair share. You would like to receive what you deserve. The 6 of Pentacles is the card of being rewarded for your efforts And it can be the situation where you are being rewarded by somebody who is in a higher position than you, or just in a different position than you. If it's a relationship, for some of you, it might be that you want to have a relationship that is equally rewarding, where you divide your responsibilities and you both contribute to the relationship. If this is a career situation that you're currently tackling, it can be the fact that you would like to be appreciated, that you like to be acknowledged in your workplace, and you have the right to do that. For some of you, the message is that finally your fight is over and you are being rewarded. So this is the trigger of your inner spiritual growth. And let's see the root of the situation. I have a feeling it has to do with the past. The meaning of the stage that you're currently in has to do with anxiety and coping with your own emotions and with your own feelings. You see this, the 9 swords are pointing to the direction of the past, to the left. You do have connection to the past that makes you anxious. Maybe this is what triggered this fight. Ask yourself this question: what is my responsibility in this situation? What is my responsibility in this conflict situation, if this is a conflict situation? If you have some triggers in your mind, they are most likely going to play out in the material world, in the physical realm, and there is nothing wrong about it. There is nothing wrong about fighting, and there is nothing wrong about proving your worth. You can be battling with self-worth issues, and it might be related to the past. It might be related to the things that your parents told you, your teachers told you. Someone from the distant past told you things that are no longer relevant. And I have a feeling that you've been fighting with yourself, and finally you're facing with the situation where you're being rewarded and you are triggered to just revisit your world model, how you're viewing the world. Is your worldview helping you? Is your worldview giving you enough satisfaction? Everything here is the energy exchange. If you're not getting enough in return, you simply will not have any energy to move forward. While the 9 of Swords does seem to have connection with the past, and the Devil card does talk about some unhealthy patterns. For some of us, it might be our addictions to alcohol, addictions to smoking, any habits or relationships that trigger us for the change, that can serve as hooks for our ego, that pull our ego out of its comfort zone, that push our buttons. Anything that has to do with things that are not necessarily good for us in the long term. But remember the thing about ego. The ego is what defines us in the outer world. This is why it's important. We are not shapeless. We have to take some form. The only person who is liked by everybody is the person who is not doing anything. So there is nothing wrong about the fights. There is nothing wrong about constructive arguments. There is nothing wrong about keeping your boundaries. But being absolutely attached to your ego might be what is causing you hurt and pain and anxiety and a lot of nightmares, a lot of draining energy. If something triggers you and you do not respond to this trigger, you have to suppress it. You have to always be thinking about your own self-image. It's absolutely draining and you're not getting what you deserve. But honestly, the relationship with us and with the world should be very much balancing. So analyze, think about that. What has been triggering you recently? What has been draining your energy? And how would your best self do this? Is there any image of your best self? What would your best self do? And how could you do it? How could you make it easier? In the nearest future, I do see you gaining some clarity. The Knight of Swords, look at him. Look at the position of the cards. He's crushing something from the past. So if you do find something that you are being attached to, something that has been triggering you, ask yourself what value it has in your life and how it has been working in your life. And you have all the abilities to deal with that. You have all the mental clarity to deal with that. Now, one important thing about the energy of the Knight of Swords, first of all, it does indicate changes that are happening really fast. Second of all, it does indicate that you are serving some truth and you are serving some idea, because he is not the figure of power, but he is very much into serving some greater idea. So he is not the king, he is not the queen, he is not the figure of authority, but he is fighting for some idea. He is fighting for some greater good, something bigger than himself. This motive can be really important. Ask yourself this question: what's truly important? What can you cut off? Can you cut off these ties? Look at them, they're chained. This card is very much similar to the Lover's card if you look it up. The difference is that they're chained. You have to go through this situation and you have to understand what you're fighting for. Is it worth the fight? Find your allies and find people for whom you would like to fight and with whom you would like to fight, even if it is you. This card does promise you greater clarity in whatever you're asking about. The card in this position will tell us in what you have to let go of, and it's very interesting. Look at this. This is the the 10 of Swords. Sorry. So we have a lot of sword energy, definitely a lot of mental processes coming through here. And it's very interesting that the nine of Swords is pointing to the 10 of Swords and to the Devil. So 10 of Swords in this situation, well, first of all, you are pinned down. Think about events, people, and anything that you would benefit from letting go of. Anything that has been draining your energy, that has been so draining that you feel like you cannot move, that you feel like there is no exit out of the situation. It also hits harder when you have ambitious big goals, when you have ambitious big plans. The bigger the plans, the harder it hits. This is the message for some people. For others, the message is that you need to resolve some long-term issues. Think about what has been draining you for a while. Where have you been investing your energy, and what are the loose ends that you are having right now? What are the loose ends that you would benefit from cutting off? Okay, because the dawn is very, very near, and you have some help coming close. You will have what you deserve, but beware of that. This card does talk about balance. It does talk about what you give is what you get. So probably you would need to let go of something before you can actually get what you really want, what's really important for you. Think about your reward system. How are you rewarding yourself? Is it a healthy way that you reward yourself, or is it not very healthy way? I have a feeling that a lot of those things have to deal with your mental patterns, because swords represent air and thoughts and your mental models. And they start manifesting in the real life. So think about that. The tree is known by its fruits. Right? So if you don't like the effects, the results of what you're doing, maybe it's time to change your mental models and how you think about things. Moving forward, Justice. This is the major arcana, and it does talk about balance. It does talk about balance and balancing the things, and look at that. Can you see the correlation here? These two symbols are the same. Basically, she's talking about the same principle, but this applies more in your everyday life, in everyday activity. You might see that in your surroundings, you see things changing, and you start getting where you put your mental energy into. And this Justice card does talk about bigger changes. It's about mental shifts. So this is where you have to go in order to release those two things that are draining for you and that cause you anxiety, that cause you pain, that might cause you being stuck in certain areas. And remember that energy flows in different situations. If you're blocked somewhere in your personal life, it can have an effect on your career, it can have effect on your spiritual growth, and vice versa. Remember that energies are flowing, and in order for you to get this clarity, She knows what to do. She has this energy as well. She knows what to do. She knows what is right and what is wrong. Get your priorities in order. It's going to be very important for you to move forward, to snap out of this painful situation. You're not enjoying this. Your ego might have been enjoying it, but this is not healthy. It's like you're substituting something that you need by something that society tells you need, by people who want to hurt you tell you need, by people who do not see your value tell you need. This person has the clarity. You have the clarity and the right judgment. It also does talk about you seeing things in the right way. It means that everything is clear as day and you should not overthink. You should act upon your best judgment. If you feel like you've been dragged down by some person or some situation and you start coming up with excuses for them why they behaved a certain way, you don't have to do that. You have to take care of your own self, of your own being, and do what's best for you. Do what's right. Look at her sword. She also has a sword. I'm telling you, there is a lot of sword energy. She has the authority, so you are probably connected to the higher truth, to the understanding of higher processes, and you are connected to higher intelligence. You are intelligent. You have to step into this energy in order to conquer the situation, to move it. Let's say the blessing of the situation. Magician in reverse. This is a very interesting position. This is a very interesting card for the blessing position. Normally, the Magician upright talks about you have everything you need. You have the sword, the wand, the pentacle, the cup. And this is the divine chemistry of things. You have the roses, you have the lilies. This is male creative energy. It creates things in the outer world. So right now for you, it's time. This situation has been triggering you to ask yourself questions. Where does your energy go? What is draining you? It's the situation where you explore your inner resources, where you understand how powerful you are, not because of the external circumstances, but because of what they made you realize. You discover your own resources. The inner truth, the inner light, the inner resources that help you achieve things, that help you ask the right questions. What are the right questions you should be asking yourself right now? What do you need to release? What are those things? This is the blessing of this situation. And the best outcome that you can achieve is very interesting. It's the Three of Cups. This is the first cup card in here. Apart from the cup symbol in the Magician, this is the first cup card that has the symbol of a cup. For some of us, it does mean friendship. It does mean holiday celebration. Look at them, they're celebrating something. Especially it talks about female friendship. You have something to celebrate. I have a feeling that for some of you, the message is about reorganizing your friend group, reorganizing people that you're working with. Maybe if it's a career situation that's draining your energy, it might be regrouping, reorganizing your working situation. If it's your friend group that's draining your energy, you are finding peace and happiness again with your friends, maybe with some other friend group. And this is a card of celebration. This is very jolly. Look at them, they're just having fun. Let's turn to some advice cards. Full moon completion. So soon, this cycle is coming to an end. You had to go through those uncomfortable moments of the Nine of Swords, of the Ten of Swords. You had to go through them in order to complete something and realize how many resources you do actually have in your life, and realize the value of people who support you to gain this mental clarity. I really like how this looks. It does look like you are receiving something that you've been hoping for. Be aware of your mental patterns. Full moon might have meaning for you in this situation. So right now I'm filming this and it's waning moon. So soon we're expecting new moon. So maybe the next lunar cycle. But this reading is timeless. So maybe the timing of your situation can be related or correlated to the moon cycles. If you want to meditate, if you feel like meditation is necessary, if you already do this, then full moon is a great time to express your gratitude and things are getting intensified. If this is new moon, you might see even more powerful changes, even more powerful shifts right here. Waning moon, it's time to release things. Waxing moon, it's time to grow things that you want to grow and invest in things that you want to invest in, that you want to harvest in the end. We have the card Angel Assistance. The message of this card is that you do have divine support and divine guidance. So you have to really set this clear intention and understand which are the resources that you want to tap into in order to move forward, in order to have the leap of faith. Take the leap of faith because you are divinely supported right now, you are divinely guided. And this is great news for somebody who's going through this kind of transformation right here. You're working with your ego right now. Explore it, shine your light on it, understand what's been triggering you, and it's the right time to balance. The next stage that you're entering is the balance, and it is a very happy stage. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope it was helpful. Leave the comments down below if you liked the video. If you did not like the video, also leave the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm really happy that the channel is growing, and thank you for your love and support. Any contact information is in the description box down below. And right now I'm moving on to pile number 2. Hi guys, everybody who chose pile number 2. This is your reading about how to move forward past your blockages and what things you need to release, what things you need to embrace in your life. So let's start with your current situation, which is represented by this card, the Five of Swords. Very interesting. Look at this card closely. This card has two main messages. For some people, it might mean that we are victorious, but we are not very happy of our victory. The way that we got there are not very clean, are not very clear, and people are just turning away from us. It can be a situation where 3 people are involved, where 5 people are involved. It can be a situation where you are self-sabotaging yourself. So it can be that you have several voices in your head and one of them is self-sabotaging, not very good, and the other 2 are just really upset about the situation. Beware that you might lack clarity at this particular moment in time, and probably this current growth stage that you're going through right now is about you having to pick and choose your battles wisely. Not everything that we are going through in our experience has to be taken in this polarity where we have hostility unfolding, so do be aware of that. What's crossing your situation is the Eight of Cups in reverse. Very interesting. I have a feeling it has to do with your past situation. So somebody from the past could have reminded you of what you've done or of what they've done or of what you were together. The Eight of Cups upright is the card of abundant success, and here you are revisiting this idea of what's been important to you, what's been an achievement for you, and how you used to perceive things. And this can be an important realization for you or for other people as well. It can be not you represented here. You could have been the person that's been walking away, and now you're revisiting your past relationship, your past situation, any kind of events that seemed very important and they lost their importance or lost their purpose. The root of this situation is the Tower in reverse. Look at that. It's very interesting. The Tower upright, it is a very cleansing energy. It's like the lighting in the thunderstorm, and everyone who had their mask on are losing their faces. They're sort of exposed, and everybody of all kind of statuses, of any social level, are exposed, and you get a clearer picture of what's happening. It's not always very nice to experience. Usually it's some kind of shocking situation, but when it's upright, it just happens. You don't hold on to it. When it's reverse, it's like you are revisiting that. It's like you are holding on to that shocking experience. Think about things that shocked you the most. Think about things that are holding you back because they were not very pleasant, where you didn't get closure, where you probably felt deceived, or you made other people feel this way. If you did, know that it's also part of experience. It can be part of your soul contract to deliver that experience to certain people. Take time to acknowledge your role in this conflict situation, in what's happening right now, or what has happened. The past energy indicates the Queen of Swords. I'm really sorry, everything's falling down. The Queen of Swords. This is the card of somebody who has reached their emotional maturity and who can also prioritize their logic against their feelings. In a way, she knows what's right and she follows that, and she has very clear judgment. It's very interesting that this person looks like he's looking at her. Somebody could have given you, or could have given another person, a very fair assessment of what they've done. It can be a situation where a woman or somebody with very balanced logical and emotional energies, they could have given you a fair judgment. And it's not always the nicest person to be with. It can be you, actually. This all can be happening within you. You don't need other people to trigger that in a way. It can be just the environment or situations you're in, but you have faced clear judgment. Look at her sword. It is just vertical, so she has this clear balance. She knows what's best and she knows what's right. In a way, it's very similar to justice energy, but it can be a person. This is the difference. So they did trigger this situation in some way, or they did partake in it. And the future, the nearest future of the situation, it looks like something is not working out or is just taking longer than it should. So different messages for different people. So for some of us, it's going to be that your plans are just stagnating a little bit. The Knight of Pentacles is not moving very fast. In fact, if you look closer, he's just standing and has an offer. He has an offer for some of us. If it's a love relationship, know that it's a slow burn. If it's career relationship, if it's your personal development, this is a slow burn. It's something that takes time to develop. It's something that takes time to deliver, but it's worth the investment. When it's in reverse, it's being slowed down even more. So ask yourself this. What's your responsibility in this situation? What's the responsibility that you have in front of yourself and other people? And how this is slowing your growth? How things that you do are slowing your evolution? What you need to let go of? There are certain things that you need to revisit. There are certain things that you need to break free of, but it has to be a clear cut. She does give a clear cut, and she's in a way unapologetic. She has her own judgment. She's not like the Knight of Swords, who is probably serving her, the Queen. She has her own judgment, and it's very well balanced with emotions. At the same time, whenever she knows that she's not treated fairly, she can put a full stop in a relationship or in some commitment. She's telling you, don't tell me that I didn't warn you. Okay, things that you need to let go of. It's very interesting. Look at that. The Four of Wands, the card of celebration. It can be your memory. So for some of us, it's going to be the memory, some ideal situation where we wanted to arrive at, but we couldn't for some reason, and we can be clinging on to it. It's talking to the Eight of Cups, I feel, and it can be this initial success. This is the card of initial success, you know. It's like we have marriage, but it doesn't mean that the marriage is going to be successful. It's like you've reached another stage. You've reached the stage of celebration, but you still have work to do. It's just 4, it's not 10. And the 10 is heavy, but the 4 is more light. It has stability as well. Think about how your ideas of the ideal situation are influencing the present. Does it trigger you to do things that you are not proud of? Does it make you self-sabotage? Does it make you cling to the past? Because you have to move forward, but the forward movement is kind of slow. There is progress, but it can be a stagnation as well. If it's not fast enough, we do stagnate. Where do you lose your energy? Are you spending a little bit too much time outside? Are you waiting for somebody to invite you to the party instead of creating your own? Ask yourself these questions. There are going to be different messages for different people. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, by the way, so take messages that resonate. Do not leave out the rest. Do not take the messages that are for other people. I'm just here to ask you questions and prompt you to think. So what are other things that you need to consider for the next stage to be successful in your development? So look at that, the Ace of Swords. If you look at that, it's very interesting. Here you have the Wands energy, the jolly, the fun, party, celebration kind of vibe. But what you actually need is the clarity, and the clarity of judgment of what's right, what's wrong. And you're likely to have this opportunity. You're likely feeling it in the air right now, just like in the Ace of Swords. It can be not very pleasant, but once you follow it, once you follow what you know is right, and she is following what she knows is right, and once you agree with that with your whole being, once you commit to that, once you are excited about things that are to come in the future, not the things that are in the past. Life is happening right now to you, so be excited about things that are coming. You should have been excited for those things that were in the past once they were your present in a way. So be excited about the things and get clarity. Get clarity to get going. The clear judgment is the main message of this card here. And you can come out as a winner in a situation where others tend to fail. That's very important as well. So what's the blessing of the situation? The blessing of the situation is the Ace of Cups in reverse. It's very interesting. It does teach you to not pay too much attention to your emotional life. So in a way, it can be that, look at her. She is very much balanced in her emotional versus her mental life. She has very clear judgment. Her emotions that do not cloud the judgment. It can be that you have been paying too much attention to what you are feeling about the situation, not what is you could have been clinging to the feelings, and now the situation is teaching you to be balanced and to actually have your cup full at all times, to protect your space, to protect your peace in order for it to be upright. You have to follow your heart, but know when people are hurting you, know when people are draining you, and know when people are not doing the right thing. Know when your boundaries are being ruined. If this is your situation, this stage is teaching you to pay attention not only to what you feel would be nice, not to indulge into your feelings, to feel them fully, but not to indulge into them, not to make your feelings the purpose of your being in a way. And the best outcome, if you come through those things, if you survive the slow burn of the development of the situation, if you have clarity, if you do go through this phase, you have exciting things that are waiting for you. Look at that. The Ten of Pentacles has so many meanings to it. It does talk about family relationships, family ties. It does talk about financial abundance if you are interested in it. It does talk about commitment as well. So do think about things that are getting you excited in the long term, that are helping you build a stable ground for your family relationships, for relationships with people who are important to you. Think about those things. This is a great outcome. If you are concerned about financial situation, be sure that you're on the right track. It can be a slow burn, but with the clarity you're able to reach here, and it's beautiful. Let's have a look at the oracle cards. We have Wind, the activation. Somehow it's similar to the Tower here, but the Tower is in reverse. So it is activating your potential, actually. It is helping you balance the things, the warm and the cold. Think about what has been started in your life recently, what you could have been ignoring, what you could have been the changes that are actually positive. Think about what will make the boat go faster. When you think about things that you want to achieve. In your everyday life, we make so many decisions that are influencing the long-term outcome, because we don't think about the long-term outcome, because we are thinking about the short term and how we're feeling in the moment. We don't think how we are going to feel 10 years after that. We are not thinking about how we are going to feel next month. We are indulging into things that are not right for us, and we keep returning to these patterns, the mental thinking, the revisiting the past. The past is here to learn from it. We learn from it, we move forward. We gain clarity, we learn. Experience is here to learn. Think about what has been activated. What is the part of your own inner self you didn't know existed? The second oracle card is the illusion. Things that you thought could have been very important in the past might lose their importance in the present, and might be losing their importance in the future. You might not understand everything that's happening right now, but trust your intuition, trust your guidance. When you don't know what to do, just do the right thing. The Ace of Swords does talk about this possibility to clear the air, to understand what's right and what's wrong, and act upon it. After you understand what's right and what's wrong, act upon it. Your intuition is very strong. So don't miss this opportunity to understand what's happening. To really understand what's happening, it shouldn't be your ego talking to you. It should be the higher self. You have the potential to tap into this. Let's hear out the affirmation that we have for this card. I hear deep messages with strength and clarity from my soul. My soul knows the way forward. I trust my inner guidance. So if people turned their back on you, if people didn't treat you right, ask yourself what's your responsibility in it, how you can learn from it, and how you can move forward in order to make the boat go faster. I hope these messages were useful for you. This is all I have for you today. I will leave contact information in the description box down below. Like the video if you liked it. Leave the comments down below about what resonated, what did not resonate. Uplift other people. We are all on our quest, and I wish you all luck and love and growth. On that, I'm moving to pile number 3. Hi everybody who picked pile number 3. Right now we are going to have a look at what's the current growth stage that you're in, and what's blocking you, what you should be releasing, and how to move to the next level. So let's start with your current situation. And beautiful 6 of Wands. I'm very surprised that you're here. You are in a victorious kind of situation. You could have had some success in the recent past. Congratulations on that. Or you're very close to achieving something. If this is your concern, if this is your question, whether or not you are succeeding, you definitely are succeeding. Look at you, you're going into the city on a white horse, and people are cheering you up, and you could have been part of a team, but you could have also been a leader of this group, and this is beautiful. You are supported, you are guided, and people are just there to enjoy your glory. This is what I'm hearing. This is a reward for something that you've been doing in the past. This did not come easy. This did come as part of your journey, as a reward for your efforts. It did not come just like yada yada yada, you did nothing and all of a sudden you received something. No, here you have acknowledgement of other people, and you are moving towards the great success, great glory. And also for others, it can be success before you jump onto the next challenge, which is going to be interesting for you because you have all the skills that you need. But why are you asking this situation? What's crossing this? I have a feeling that you might feel a little bit drained, a little bit disempowered. The strength in reverse, the strength upright does confirm this feeling of you being glorious. Look at her, she's petting a lion. Look at her. She's petting a lion and she's using her intelligence, her tenderness in order to conquer this beast. But upright, you can feel that you are under the expectations of too many people, maybe those people that helped you succeed. You can feel a little bit drained, a little bit powerless. This is message for other people. So there is something happening with your feeling of accomplishment. You might not feel as accomplished as you should be, but remember, you do have reasons to celebrate. If you're not celebrating, rethink your reward system. Are you rewarding yourself enough? Or are you punishing yourself for not achieving certain things? Maybe you didn't achieve everything that you wanted to achieve, but I see you being greatly rewarded, or you're being celebrated. Celebrate yourself. Ask yourself, how are you celebrating your wins? Are you celebrating your wins, or are you just punishing yourself for not achieving something? And the root of this situation is, for some people, it can be this one person who is not expressing enough gratitude, or a person who did not come through on their promise. It can be this personal influence. For others, the message is different. For others, the message is that the desire to achieve something that's here has been draining and has been actually influencing your perception of the situation. Think about how the desire to achieve a certain thing can be detrimental sometimes, how it can cause the burnout. It might be the burnout that you're feeling, or some kind of imbalance with emotions. So for that, in order to mend the situation, in order to encourage yourself to achieve more, in order to encourage yourself to move forward, do think about rewards. What makes you happy? This is a very interesting ride. It's fireworks, and you have to enjoy them. You are not enjoying the fireworks, huh? Are you? Are you enjoying the fireworks of your own success? In the recent past, things are pretty clear. I really like this. This is a very jolly spread, it's more about your perception of the situation, I feel. And in the recent past, it has been also related to success, to some clarity. I love seeing the Sun card here. It makes all other cards a little bit more powerful, a little bit more positive, or a lot more positive. You've had the clarity that you wanted, you've had the success that you wanted, and it actually made you ask questions about what success is for you. Are you doing it for yourself, or are you doing it for other people? What's important for you? If those are the questions that you're asking yourself, you're on the right track. But just know that you've accomplished some things in the eyes of other people, and you should not be punishing yourself for those things. Ask yourself what success is for you, what happiness is for you. Maybe you feel like you don't deserve it. Why? Define every word. Make a good definition for success. Make a good definition for what happiness is for you, and write down every word. And once you're finished with this exercise, you will end up with papers and papers and papers with your writings on it. It's actually an important and not so easy question. It's not that trivial. It's like, I want to have a family, or I want this job position. Why? What is family for you? What is career success for you? What is fulfillment for you? How do you see in the material world that you are being fulfilled? There is a lot of dignity in the future, but there is also a lot of self-work. I see a lot of self-work here, where you learn to be dependent on others, where you learn to delegate, and where you do self-work. And as I said, you need to learn to celebrate. You need to learn to celebrate your own achievements. Otherwise, you are just going back into your routine and you do not enjoy it. So this card is, for some people, can be the indication of you going back to your routine, doing everything day by day. So ask yourself, what's your routine and how does it have an effect on your mental health? Mental health is important. Your self-esteem. The question of self-esteem is very much here. You've done something great, but you're just not feeling it. So this is for some people. So what's your core value? Why did you start this? What did you achieve? Celebrate it. You don't have to be running in circles all the time. How can you incorporate short-term rewards into whatever you're doing? How can you celebrate yourself? How can you delegate some responsibilities? You don't have to do everything on your own. So these are the questions for the nearest future that you would like to address in order to move forward a little bit faster and celebrate life a little bit more. What you need to let go of. Very interesting. Here we have the Knight of Pentacles, and this is the knight that serves somebody, or I better say he's protecting somebody. Think about things that have been important to you recently and just revisit them. It's the energy of the slow burn, so think about things that have been stopping you, that are your values, that you think that you value them, but maybe they're not very practical, or some practical things that make constraints for you. It's like you've been protecting something. It's like you've been on a guard. It's like you've been serving somebody, because he's not the figure of authority, right? He is serving his queen and his king. What have you been protecting that are not your actual values, that serve other people better than they serve you? The connotation with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Ask yourself these questions. Where is your truth in this situation? Where is your truth in this growth stage that you're going through? What you have to embrace is actually this wand energy, your own inspiration. Look at that. Ace of Wands is like a spark. It's like a spark. It is a spark. It is a spark of inspiration. It is a spark of fruitful beginnings. Look, the wand is flourishing. It is blossoming. It is some opportunity that you will have to embrace. Maybe some creative project, maybe something that your partner suggests that you do together that you don't find like it will be beneficial for everyday life. It can be that your partner suggests that you go for a gateway, like you have a gateway weekend somewhere where you would enjoy it. Maybe it will cost some additional money and you don't want to spend it, and you feel like it's been something that you've been saving for quite a while, but they suggest something that you do out of the blue and you sort of like it, but you're not considering it because it seems too much of an enjoyment, and you should take time to enjoy things. If there are several projects that you're working on, choose the one that you feel are inspiring for you. So embrace this spark, embrace these opportunities. This is what make us human, the creativity, the play expressed in the sun as well. If you are playing and you have some purpose for it, this is the creativity, this is the art process, right? Take a look at that, embrace this. The blessing of this situation is actually the Five of Cups in reverse. It is teaching you to let go of things that did not work out, and let go of some expectations that did not work out, and just pay attention to those things that you have and that are true you, that worked out for you, that can help you shine, how to get to this next level. It could have been that you've been battling with some issues of self-esteem, and this situation right now that you're facing, this particular series of events is bringing out the best out of you. Don't be scared of it. It's all you, it's all beautiful. Take the creative chance, the creative opportunity. The next stage that you are entering, it's very interesting because we here are talking about your spiritual growth and your challenges of growth, what blocks you and what will help you release it. Look at that. This is the Ace of Wands, the opportunity that is coming through. And it is very similar to the Page of Wands energy because it does both talk about the new beginnings and both talk about the creative spark and the new opportunities. But the Page of Wands is more personified, if I might say. It is you taking this opportunity, taking this creative spark and analyzing how does it apply to you. It is the new stage in spiritual journey, but having all those qualities that you gain through your path that you are already on. Ask yourself about influences of other people. Ask yourself about your routines. What can you improve? How you can incorporate some spiritual rituals into your everyday life. How you can make it more fulfilling for yourself. How you can identify the projects that you need to be working on. Do some self-exploration. What is important for you? I like it. I really like it. Because it's very different from the Five of Cups as well. Look, even the color scheme is very different. Here we have black, here we have yellow. The blue contrasts the orange. And you know, this card is way more colorful. It does talk about self-exploration. Do not be afraid to start new things. It is also a card of faith, a faithful lover that looks like this in the upright position. But maybe you are your own faithful lover. You should love yourself. Take these chances in the outside world and do incorporate them in your own spiritual life and development. We have the forest breath. So if you live close to the nature, if you like being in the nature, take time to recharge. Do some breath work. Google breath work. Breath work might be very beneficial for you at this time. It does help to release stress. It does help to ground yourself, to center yourself, to reassess things. We do have manifestation as well. So this is the powerful time to work on what you really want and what the victory actually means for you, what the development means for you, what other people mean for you, and you can manifest things. This card reminds me of the Magician in the tarot deck. It says release control, evaluate your priorities, recalibrate everything based on how you feel is right and what you feel is right, and work on this strength card. I love seeing it in this deck, but because it's in reverse, we do have some conflict, the inner conflict. I am the conscious creator of the energy around me. My heart and mind are unified in spirit. You have the power to create and shine your light upon the world. Examine your thought patterns and energy and amplify your intentions. So whatever you have achieved, congratulations with that. You have power to achieve even more things. Think about what are your priorities, what is the value for you in your everyday life, what you're creating. Don't be too logical. Take time to enjoy yourself, to enjoy your wins. Work on your reward systems. Work on enjoying life and having moments for yourself. It doesn't have to be always for everybody else. It doesn't have to be always for serving somebody else and being upset because somebody else is upset. You have your own right for joy. So guys, these are the messages that I received for you today. I hope this was helpful. Leave the comments down below what you liked, what you disliked. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm really happy that the channel is growing. I'll leave all the contact details down below, and I see you in the next reading. Hello everybody who picked pile number 4. This is going to be your reading about the blockages on your path and how you can release them in order to move forward in your spiritual growth in your life. Overall, we all have something that blocks us. So let's start with your current situation and what you might be feeling right now, what you might be going through. And this is the card, the Three of Wands is the card of somebody who has been putting in effort, who's been putting in some work. He has been putting in work. He's the merchant and he has set his ships to sail, and now he's been waiting for them to come back. So for some people, the message is that you can feel the impatience. You can feel the impatience about things that you've been working on, and you have started some projects and you want to see the results fast. So this can be burning inside you because wands are fiery energy. So don't be too impatient. It's going to be fine. Ask yourself this: is it draining you? If it is draining you, maybe not the best thing to do. Is it okay? What are the things that are burning too fast or burning too slow? Can you change anything about them? What is your responsibility in this situation? For other people, this might be an actual event where you're not satisfied with the results, where you set the ships to sail and they came back with nothing, right? So are there any situations in your life that are not helping you feeling fulfilled? What are the situations that you want to address? What's the priority right now? Ask yourself this. I'm just the asker of questions here. I'm telling you what can be happening and you take what resonates. Something could have not been working out the way you want to, not as fast as you want to, or might not be bringing as much result as you would appreciate. But at the same time, the Two of Wands does tell you that you do have everything that you need, or you could have thought that you have everything that you need. For some of you, the message will be that you have to be patient a little bit longer. Because you are in this castle that you already have. This is the card of the initial success. You have everything that you need. You are already successful. So take time to appreciate your accomplishments. And if one of your projects failed, people who don't fail are the people who don't do anything. Remember that. So if this is the question of your business projects, of your creative projects, of something that you are trying to create anew, maybe this is a relationship situation. Maybe you are trying to build a relationship with someone but they are rejecting you. Know that you have everything that you need. If the things are not moving as fast as you want, maybe this is due to the lockdown. Maybe this is due to the coronavirus situation that we are going through right now, because I'm filming in 2020. Think about what are the blockages that you have, and think about how you can utilize your resources. You don't need anything else. You don't need to search outside too much. Think about your network. Think about people and things that can help you right now. Do not reach out too far. It should be somewhere really, really close. And it can be as close as your friend group. The Three of Cups does talk about some celebration. Your friend group, it can be, think about people who you feel encouraged by, who are true friends, who are supportive of you in any kind of situation that you're in, who are not making you feel down. Think about the friend group, the network that you can reach out to. This stage of your spiritual growth does teach you to appreciate real friendships, does teach you to appreciate joy. Because one thing failed or one thing did not work out, it does not mean that the whole thing failed, your whole life failed. It's just a chapter. The recent past, let's have a look at that. Somebody could have been not very nice. The Seven of Swords in reverse. So for some of us, this can be that we were not as nice as we deserved it for ourselves. For others, it will be another person. So look at this guy. He is stealing those swords from people who need to fight the battle. He needs to be very careful, very strategic. And in the upright position, it can be that you are caught in a situation where you need to decide how to act and not hurt yourself and anybody else. When we flip it, when we turn it upside down, when it's reversed, we see an opposite kind of a situation. Somebody could have been hurt on purpose, and this caused you to think that you failed, caused some confusion. You could have been self-sabotaging yourself. One of your personalities, give them names and make them talk to each other. One can be an internal saboteur. Another one can be a child that wants a specific thing. Another person can be an achiever. And they can all talk to each other. They just can sit across the table and quiet the voices that are sabotaging the whole process. Look at this situation from a bird's eye view. Because he's not going anywhere. He's just standing and waiting for things to happen. He's not going anywhere. He's just standing and observing things. What would you tell your friend? How would you tell your friend? What would you tell your friend to do? Think about yourself as your friend. If this was your friend, would you punish them? Would you make them feel a bit less worthy than they actually are? Would you bully them? What are you doing to yourself? Examine those dark spots inside of you. The nearest future, the world in reverse. So things might not be coming to an end as fast as possible. Think about the lessons that you just learned. Is there anything that needs to be closing down? So for some of us, this is the message of things not working out as fast as we want them to, but still a very positive card. For others, it might mean that we need to revisit certain things that we already did that didn't work out to fix them, so we can close the cycle. This is the Saturn card, the card of karma, some cycles. You might be going through similar situations from the past, and you can be impatient of finishing them. Reach out to your friend group. This can also be your spiritual group, your spirit guides, in a way that if you do believe in spirit guides, in angels, it can be your support group in another realm. It can be a spiritual network that is uplifting you, that is helping you grow and learn. So call onto your best judgment, onto your higher values in order to move past this karmic cycle. Something is taking longer than you think. Ask yourself how you are responsible for that. What you can do to fix it or ameliorate it, or what you can learn from the past experience. What you need to let go of, very interesting. The Five of Swords in reverse. So this is the card of a victory or of a defeat. And if it's a victory, it doesn't feel as sweet as you would like it to. It doesn't feel as well deserved as you would like it to. You did something, you achieved your result, you're not sure if it was worth it. You don't have to be reanalyzing things. If you are in a fight with somebody, maybe with this person who let you down, maybe it's yourself. See, different messages for different people. Take what resonates. And probably I'm not telling you what you do not know. If you've been conflicted in some sort of way, any way, shape or form, it's time to let go of this conflict. It can be draining you, it can be making you more impatient. Take some time to self-reflect, take some time to purify your space, to get rid of everything that you don't need. end of this mental energy, this is often mental energy. This can be you telling yourself that you're not worthy of something. This can be you self-sabotaging again. What you need to embrace, the Five of Wands energy in reverse. So this is a different kind of a conflict situation. Here, this is the victory that has not been achieved in a rightful way. And here is, you are the competition to yourself. Nobody but yourself, except you have a lot of Wands energy. The mental constraints energy should be left in the past, and you should be driven by something that inspires you. If you're a competitive person, and you can be a competitive person, know that you're in a competition with no one but yourself. Explore those things that make you feel better, that make you feel like you're more competitive. Know that your inner strengths are getting sharpened by competition with other people, and sometimes you discover things you didn't know existed. Sometimes you discover that you're stronger than you think you were, that you're better, a better professional, a better friend than you were, a better public speaker. Any kind of situation where you encounter with other people, think about how you can, if you have some self-doubts, think about situations that strengthen your belief in yourself. If you have issues with public speaking, for example, think about all those situations when you delivered a public speech and you were awesome, or you reached your target, or you were able to conquer yourself. Take time to acknowledge those things. You are in competition with no one but yourself. Embrace this energy. If you're competitive, there is nothing wrong about it. Think about the competition as a catalyst to progress. That's also an important part. But also, don't fight with other people if you don't get what you want. Learn from the lessons of the past. It's your responsibility to learn from them and to go through those cycles. You are here to fulfill your purpose. And you meet people that you need to meet to fulfill your purpose. Everybody has to teach you a lesson. And the longer it takes you to learn this lesson, the more people like this that is sabotaging you, and the many more situations you are going to meet where you are self-sabotaging yourself until you learn to leap out of this loop. The blessing of the situation is the Emperor. So look at that. He is the master of his own kingdom. He has his own empire. He is logical. He does not give in to his feelings too much. If it's a relationship reading, if you feel like there is a blockage in your relationship, some energy blockage, it can be it can signify that you need to pay more attention to structure and logic and what are things happening in the material world, like in your everyday life, how it's organized, what is the structure, how you show your love and appreciation, what are your zones of responsibility. If this is your career, you have the ability to build your own empire. You have everything that you need. You can embrace the authority, or for other people, if you're not in a position of authority, you can either embrace the authority within yourself, control yourself instead of controlling everybody else, rely on people that you can rely on, that you know are friends, are allies. At the same time, if you're in a position of authority, embrace it. Embrace it and make steps to improve the environment around you. Know who's right, who's the right fit to fix the situation, who's the right fit for you to be next to you. It can be a friend group that pushes you to become a better person, and you have to know that you have everything that you need. And let's have a look at the best outcome, the next stage sort of you're facing. Look, the Nine of Wands. It's very interesting. You have a lot of wands, so you are definitely a very ambitious person, I would say, or you're learning to be ambitious at this stage of your development. It's very important for you right now to realize your own potential and how you are sabotaging your potential. Look at that, 9 of Wands in upright. It does tell us, it sends the message of you keeping your boundaries, of you being defensive, of you keeping your opponents at bay. When it's reversed, it does tell you that you have the inner resource, the inner strength to conquer whatever you are trying to conquer. It tells you to draw onto your own inner strength, onto your own motivation. It tells you that the things are getting harder right by the finish line. You're almost there. It does teach you to rely on yourself, and this is going to be the lesson and the outcome of this current growth stage. Remember, you're in a competition with no one but yourself. You're almost there, almost there. You just need to work a little bit harder, rely on your friend group to recreate. You're building your own empire. It can be not very easy. The bigger goal you have, the bigger plans you have, the harder it can get to achieve them, but they're worth it. If this is the world that you're coming to get, that you're coming to build, it can be delayed a little bit, but it's more about your internal perception of the situation. It's more about you being impatient. If you fail in one venture, it doesn't mean that you're going to fail in everything else. You still have great opportunity to grow your branches everywhere where you feel like growing, or where it fits. Maybe it's not the right time for some opportunities. Maybe they need to come closer. The time will be different and you will have a new opportunity. But right now you need to learn to rely on yourself, and you will. Know that you have enough of inner resource and inner power to differentiate between what's right, what's wrong, to calm down this little self-saboteur or other people that are not acting in your right interest, and know that you have everything that you need. We have an oracle card, Fire. You seem to be a very ambitious person, and the Fire card does support, if you're looking for some kind of indication, any guidance, any sign, this is your sign that you're doing everything right and you're doing everything out of your passion. Controlling your temper can be an issue. Controlling your temper can be not an issue, but it can be a task for you. It cannot come very naturally, but this is the flip side of being ambitious. This is the flip side of achieving your goals. And another card, the oracle card that we have, is Purification. Well, it's self-explanatory, right? It does talk about you needing to clear your space of things that don't serve you well, of things that are distracting you, of things that make you feel worthless. You can benefit from cleaning your physical space. It's waning moon right now that I'm recording it. Use lunar cycles to work on it. Okay, waning moon is great time to release things and to get yourself prepared to the new moon. Before you receive, first of all, you should clear the space for it, right? Be sure that you have space for things that you want to receive. This is the first message. The second message is that be willing to give something. Be willing to, I think you are willing to contribute, and you are willing to give something to people, something of value. But just know that there is this balance, and you are following your passion. This is amazing. I see a lot of wands here. Let's see the affirmation of this card and what it tells us. I'm going to read it out. Cleanse your environment and personal space. Water is deeply cleansing and purifying, which is why it's used in symbolic practices throughout the world. Water is a conduit for clear channeling and spirit communication. You may be feeling disconnected from your spirit or your higher self. Spend time around running water such as lakes, waterfalls, or streams to purify your mind. It's also the energy of the Three of Cups, very flowing emotional energy. Do spend time on purifying your space and purifying your environment and your inner self. Your observations and impressions will give you great insight into your current emotions. Also, it's very interesting. So this is the watery energy and this is the fiery energy. Balance. Balance is the key here. I purify my soul. I release burden and expectation of choices. I am free to make my own decisions with love and confidence. This is your affirmation. So guys, group number 4. I hope this was helpful. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it. I really appreciate your help and support. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. You're very welcome. And I wish you all guys love and luck and blessings and all the best on your spiritual journey. You are doing amazing. See you later guys. Bye.